Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we'll be continuing our coverage of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, playing until we refuse to return to Lumiere because there's optional content to complete. But before we get started, how was everyone's week?
I have played so much Pokemon Legends Arceus. I never finished it back when it came out, and a couple months ago I started it again because I wanted to play it before the next Pokemon Legends game comes out, and also I liked it back when I played it originally, so I wanted to play it more. But then I quickly fell off of it because, Donkey Kong came out and all that. But I started again, I got back into it, and I have played it so much. I beat it. I have done most of the end-game, post-game content. I'm still trying to catch every Pokemon so that I can go do the final thing, but there are Pokemon that only appear in space-time distortions, and space-time distortions appear randomly.
Yes, I know that feeling. It's rough. I also always like to sink a lot of time into that game, and it's a really fun game.
Yes.
I was hoping to get back to it and finish it before Pokemon comes out next month, but there's a Sonic Crossworlds and there's a Digimon Time Stranger between now and Pokemon, and I don't think that I'm going to get around to playing Arceus.
I mean, I think you don't have to play them in order. They're Pokemon games, so
It's true.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done anything particularly interesting other than play Pokemon Legends Arceus.
I mean, Possum Boy was approved for release on Steam, so that happened.
It's not on Steam yet.
No, but it was approved for release, so it will be on the release day. We don't know if the demo will be on release day, but the main game will be on release day.
October 1st.
Yeah.
Search Possum Boy on Steam and wishlist it.
Hell yeah. For you people in the future, that's like tomorrow, right?
October 1st is 1 week from today.
It's 1 week from today of recording. They will hear this on Monday the 29th. So 2 days from when you're listening to this, you can go get Possum Boy on Steam. And maybe download the demo. Unless
something happens. Something could happen. We don't know.
We don't know. We're in the past. We don't know what the future is like 5 days from now. What about you, Trish? How was your week?
My week has been pretty good, honestly. Aside from once again proving that my baking skills fail when it involves yeast. I should stop trying to ever make bread. Let's see, what was I gonna say? Tomorrow hasn't happened yet, but I'm excited about. Tomorrow is the retirement party for the library director where I work. Which will be fun. I'm going to go to that with my wife after my shift is over. I think our library director is neat, but I also think I am excited for her to not work here anymore because she is the main reason that some of the rules exist that are bad. Like probably the biggest one, you have to look like you're working all the time. You can't just read or something. Which, we're a fucking library. No one's going to think a librarian is lazy. Because they're reading a book behind the desk.
People are into reading books if they're at the library, probably.
Or they want to check out 10 DVDs at a time, which is some of our patrons. And all those patrons, you're valid and you're wonderful. We've been getting new books in, and I've been enjoying reading their synopses as I put them up and adding a bunch of them to my read list because there's a lot of interesting ones. I was telling Bernard before we started recording, there's one that is a modern take / someone doing something with the King in Yellow, which I was really surprised to see someone doing something with that, and I'm really interested to see how that goes. Other than that, I've also been one of my bigger things is I have been doing a lot of reading. Specifically, I don't remember if I've talked about this book on the podcast before. I'm currently reading a romance book called Mistakes Were Made. That the basic premise is the two main characters. One of them is a college senior who was looking to escape the family visit week at her school by going to a bar and getting drunk and getting laid, and she did. Only it turns out the woman almost twice her age who she did that with is the mom of one of her friends.
Oh,
and dear. The problem is, it's not just good sex. they really click and they really work well together. But also they're both like, okay, but we can't tell anyone about this. This feels kind of wrong. But like they're both consenting adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really fucking good. It's really good. It's enjoyable. I'm devouring it on my every break at work. What about you, Sam?
So, I, as alluded to last week, I got surgery on Friday, and I've been in recoup mode.
Always
And
fun.
it's been surprisingly fun. It's like felt like a vacation, but now that like that part's over, all of the parts that still hurt are just like, dude, I sat on the couch for 3 days. What do you want from me? Stop hurting. I want to go back to normal. But so the day of the surgery on Friday, I came home and was doped up and in pain. So I went to bed at like 7 p.m. But my body is a 2 REM cycle body and not a 3 REM cycle body. So I was up at like 3 in the morning and just up for the day. So I started playing some Clair Obscur and then I went to bed at 2 in the morning. I almost played 24 straight hours of Clair Obscur that day. It was wonderful. I mean, there was like 1 or 2 times where like I stopped and I took a small little nap. So it wasn't a true 24 hours of Clair Obscur, but it is remarkable how much of my time disappeared to that game.
I mean, there's a
On
lot
Saturday.
of in-game content.
I was gonna say there's easily 24 hours of in-game content.
Yeah, because prior to that, I was like, I think I don't want to do the in-game content. Like I was seeing like Bernard not spoiling anything, but like him going through it and being like, I think it'll be fine. I know if I do the in-game content, I'm going to be vastly overleveled and make the final boss not as good, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to do it. But I went on to just like do a little bit and then it was 24 straight hours because the game is good and it gets its teeth into me. But other than that, I have been just putzing around in Godot, and I think I came up with a really cool like so in game design, they call them patterns because it's not like a thing you make. It's a way that you make things talk to each other. And there's so like a common pattern is a state machine. So you have this thing is in the walking state, and as it leaves the walking state, it does such and such transition to go into the standing state, et cetera, et cetera. That's a very common one that people do. And so I came up with one that I think will be interesting and cool and making my game easy, but I'm not sure. But it was one of those like mad typing on the keyboard, cartoonishly laughing like yes, yes, yes when I was
Amazing.
figuring it out. So I think it's pretty cool. Who knows if it will be cool, or importantly, if that video game will ever be finished. But if you don't learn to love creating art and you only love having created art, you will never create art. So I am making a video game because it's fun to make a video game, not because I have $1 million idea that I want to be finished. So I do have $1 million idea that I would like to be finished, and by $1 million I mean like $15 in a in an old retro game store. That's all my ideas worth, but those are the best ideas.
Speaking of people making art, and perhaps for the wrong reasons,
Let's talk about Clair Obscur.
so my notes are longer than last week's notes, and I don't cover any gameplay except walking around a little bit.
Yep.
because the social link stuff we're going to talk about in memorable moments because I didn't want to do it. But we are going to talk about it in memorable moments because they're good.
They're so
Yes.
good.
But last week, everyone died, and the game is over. But some stuff still happens. A glimpse in the past. Monolith year 49. We see Verso in the burning manor in black and white. Then, in color, Alicia wakes up in a room which, of course, has a view of the Eiffel Tower. Or an Eiffel Tower. This isn't actual Paris,
It's
but
Lumiere.
it's an Eiffel Tower. Alicia doesn't have the white hair and gray skin from when we've seen her before, but she does still have the scars. Her older sister Clea calls out to her, but she cannot call back due to the injuries she sustained in the fire. Epilogue. Alicia. I can never remember if they pronounce it Alicia or Alicia, with an extra syllable in there.
I think it has extra syllable.
But I'll probably pronounce it both ways, and y'all can deal with it. As Alicia, we walk through the familiar manor until we find our way to a large chamber filled with paintings. Renoir and an old woman are frozen in front of a large canvas, with what I'm going to call chroma poisoning around their eyes. I don't actually know if it's chroma or if it's poisoning, but that feels like what it is, okay?
That is the vibe.
Clea steps forward. She also has chroma poisoning around her eyes, but it fades. She tells Alicia that their parents are still fighting each other inside the canvas. She's imprisoned at the top of the monolith, he's trapped underneath. A stalemate. Now we can ask questions as Alicia. She asks if Clea saw Verso, and Clea says, "You're as bad as Aline. He's not Verso. He's a painted copy, built from our mother's memories. You'd do well to remember that." Alicia expresses concern for their parents having been in the canvas for so long. Clea says they've spent longer on other canvases, but Renoir's wasting his time in there trying to help someone who doesn't want help. She says they've got more important matters to attend to. Clea seems to think they should just let Aline waste away in the canvas. She says grief is no excuse for her failing her responsibilities as head of the Painters' Council. Clea has been trying to help Renoir. She says that Aline is more skilled than Renoir, but she's tipped the scales in his favor. Clea's, quote, pets, unquote, are in place to prevent Chroma from returning to Aline. As Aline weakens, Renoir is able to erase Aline's oldest creations, with the exception of her obscene fake family. Clea tells Alicia that she's leaving. The world doesn't stop because their family is in mourning. The conflict is spreading, and she must make sure the painters survive. When Alicia expresses her willingness to help, Clea says she'd be a liability, that the writers used Alicia against their family once before, and won't hesitate to use her again. Clea says she can't guarantee she'd give her life to save Alicia the way Verso did. Clea's kind of a
Sister of the
jerk.
year.
She just says stuff.
She's just like, by the way, sis, apropos of nothing, I know our brother literally died saving you. Wouldn't be me.
Yeah. However, Alicia can help by entering the canvas and helping Renoir so he can come back sooner and fight this war with Clea. Clea can't resist mentioning that the only reason their parents are in there is because Alicia's naivete cost Verso his life.
The thing is, her oldest sister energy is so strong and so accurate. Like, I cannot count how many people I know who have oldest siblings who are exactly like this.
100%.
Like, does she need to remind her every chance she gets that this is all her fault? No, but is she going to? Yes.
Yeah. Alicia considers the canvas. It's Verso's childhood canvas, where he painted Esquier and Monoko, and where Maman and Papa now fight. Alicia considers it her fault that all this is happening, and she wants to fix it. And if she went in, she could talk and breathe again without pain, without her face being ... But no, that's not the reason to do this. We choose to enter the canvas. Alicia says that if they bring Maman out of the canvas, she'll just return, so they have to hide it. Clea agrees and says Alicia has chosen a clever hiding spot. Aline will still find it, though. This only truly ends if you destroy the canvas, and that means stopping the final sliver of Verso's soul from painting. The sisters stand in front of the canvas in a dark chamber. Alicia reaches out to the canvas, and the chroma enters her eyes. Alicia floats in an abstract JRPG space. This abstract JRPG space has the sort of eclipse halo of light thing that's been a recurring visual thing throughout the game and will continue to recur throughout this week and maybe next week, who knows. But Aline's chroma swirls around Alicia. We know this is Aline's chroma because Clea's voice says, "That's Aline's chroma." Clea tells Alicia to stay calm and not let it take over her. Alicia does not stay calm. Clea says, "Well, you're about to be reborn in this world as one of Aline's creations. Have fun. At least this will keep you out of trouble until I get back." I enjoy how much of a jerk Clea is.
Oh, same.
Mhm.
It's so fun. I mean, I would hate for her to be a jerk to me in real life, but just it's a fun character.
Like I said, I feel like she's a very accurately sketched character, pun intended. And even though she's one of the only characters who's not sketched or painted, but she's very realistic, and she is very fun in her just
Yes.
being the most shitty older sibling way.
Yes. Now, a man and woman in Lumiere welcome their new child. The mother tells the child that though they have very little time together, and the child will never know them, she's loved. She's not alone. The mother says she's decided on a name. Mael. Act 3. Mael. The game's not over yet.
Yeah, I love
Fake-ass epilogue.
I love specifically when it goes to Act 3, Mael, it shows epilogue Alicia, and then it erases in reverse. So it's like, scratch that, go back. It's very good.
Yes. A young woman with white hair wanders the empty, dead streets of Lumiere. Verso sits on a bench under the red and white tree. The young woman sits down next to him. He greets her as Alicia, but she says she actually prefers Mael. Verso says he thinks he does too. But he's not really Verso, and she's not really Mael. Mael says he looks and sounds just like Verso, but he's not. She's still Mael, though, she says. She says he should have helped her remember. Verso gives a half-assed apology, as you might expect from him. Mael says she's sorry, too. If she had listened to Maman, if she hadn't trusted the writers, Verso would still be alive, and Verso cuts her off. Wouldn't exist? Mael clarifies. Wouldn't be caught in the middle. Mael says Maman did a terrible thing painting him into Verso's canvas, giving him Verso's memories, pretending the fire only took her. Verso says Renoir was right to erase everyone. It's better this way. Better for who? Mael asks. She says Verso wouldn't have wanted his canvas destroyed. Verso says it was killing their mother, staying here so long in a make-believe world with a make-believe family. Mael says it's not make-believe. Verso's not make-believe to her. Mael says Papa is here, and he'll help her fix Lumiere. She says he's warmer than the Renoir that Verso knew.
When she says that, it's still like, I'm gonna doubt that though.
Yeah, we'll see. Verso asks why Renoir would help repaint everything when he was the one who erased it. Mael says she hid the canvas where Maman will never find it, so there's no need to erase the canvas anymore. Verso says he'll want her to go home. But Mael says she's not at risk like Maman, and Renoir has a soft spot for her. He'll listen. Mael and Verso approach the curator. In a cloud of red petals, he takes the form of Renoir, the Renoir without the scar and in regular clothes. He and Alicia share their reunion, they hug and everything. Then Renoir regards Verso and says he's some of Aline's finest work, and that what Aline did was unfair to him most of all. Renoir offers the Descendre family's apologies. Renoir says it's absurd to offer oblivion as recompense, but perhaps that's the outcome we both desire. Mael realizes that Renoir still intends to destroy the canvas. She protests, but Renoir says that Aline will never part with the canvas willingly, so they must erase it. For the sake of the living, we must part with the dead. Mael insists she hid the canvas, but Renoir says Aline will always find it, and this is their only opportunity, while Aline is too sick from her prolonged descent into the canvas to return. Mael says he can't just destroy this canvas. It's the last piece of Verso they have left. It's her home now. Renoir is not happy to hear that Mael wants to stay. He says she'll die and that he'll lose her, too. She insists that she won't lose herself the way Maman did, but Renoir knows she will. He slams his cane into the ground and freaky monsters appear. They have the halo of light thing on them. He says it's time to go home. Verso starts to fade, but Mael reaches out to him, repainting him as he's erased. Esquier flies down with Minoko on his back. But before Mael and Verso can hop on, Mael regards the petals flying around her and says, I can see them. That's not her voice. That's just the voice I do when someone says something weird and mysterious and succinct. She calls the petals into her hand. Then Mael and Verso hop on Esquier, and everyone flies away. At camp, Mael holds her hand up, trying to paint, but she can't get it to work. Minoko says it's only been a day since she rediscovered her painter's side. She shouldn't be discouraged. Verso tells her to remember them, that painting isn't about verisimilitude, it's about essence, the truth of who they are. He says the axons her father painted are the essence of her mother and brother. With Verso's guidance, Mael succeeds. She repaints Lune and Ciel. Confused, the two women stand, wondering what happened. They notice Mael and her weird new hair. Mael says they have much to talk about, which is an understatement.
Off screen, they talk about it.
A time skip elides what I have to imagine is a very long conversation. After Lune and Ciel have had all the lore dumped on them, Lune yells at Verso for being a bitch baby traitor coward and hiding all this from them. Ciel asks Mael if she can bring back everyone they've lost. Mael says yes, but she needs chroma, and Papa controls all the chroma in the canvas. Lune says that the expeditioners killed by the Nevrons had their chroma remain in their bodies. They never dissipated like the Gommage. Mael says it's old chroma, not pure. It won't be like bringing the two of you back, but we could use it in other ways. Minoko hasn't said a line in a long time, so he says, "Time for the greatest expedition in history." We now take control of Verso at camp. You might think we'd take control of Mael at camp since this is Act 3 Mael, but no.
I want you all to imagine I'm smiling in like a very clearly threatening and upset manner.
Verso talks with Mael, who offers the explanation that Renoir hasn't come after them or erased everything yet because he's weakened by his battle with Maman. Verso says if she and her father keep fighting, she risks another fracture, but she might be the one stuck on the monolith. Verso also speaks to Lune, who again yells at him for being a bitch baby traitor coward. He offers half-assed reasons for doing what he did. He says he doesn't apologize for saving his mother, but he is sorry for betraying her trust, and he will do everything in his power to bring everyone back. Ciel is less bothered when Verso approaches her. She says she was bothered, but she got over it. Everything she knew about her world was wrong, but she doesn't care, because death isn't death anymore, and that means she can see her husband again. She says she and Verso are good as long as he helps bring him back. And I'm not sure if this is dependent on you having pursued a fling with Ciel, but there is like a thing where he's like, "Oh, your husband," and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I would kill you in a second to bring him back. Don't fucking get it twisted."
I think it must because I didn't get that line.
Not kill. She says, "I would sacrifice you to get him back." But yeah. We also see a scene of Mael talking to Lune and Ciel about all the weird shit that's happening. She says it's weird having memories of 2 childhoods, 2 homes, 2 Lumieres. Ciel asks, doesn't Mael want to be with her family now? Mael says she loves them, but they're all gone in one way or another. And besides, she has her family in the canvas now. Lune and Ciel, Gustave and Emma, and all the families who took turns taking care of her. Lune says all this is a lot to take in, which is, again, a bit of an understatement. Ciel says it is, but for the first time in a long time, she has hope. You might think Lune and Ciel have been pretty quick to come to terms with these revelations about the nature of their existence, but as I told Medi Grace, they're French. They understand existentialism. Anyway, we choose Create the Greatest Expedition in History from the campfire menu and see a long cutscene of Mael calling forth the chroma from the bodies of expeditioners around the continent. Eventually, Mael has amassed an army of ghostly expeditioners. Our party sets their sights for Lumiere, ready to face the final boss and save their world. But first, we gotta race some proverbial chocobos, because there's a ton of optional content available.
Hell yeah.
We'll talk about that optional content in memorable moments.
So on the topic of the romance option for Lune or CL. I love getting CL's ending because it just makes everything bad for Verso. So, so you get to the end of CL's and she's like, "Oh yeah, like we're not anything because my husband's going to be back. So this is over." And he's like, "Yeah, I totally get it. I think they have one last romp around in the sheets as a last hurrah, but it's still a breakup scene." But so then you go and you get the final social link for Lune, and it's this like happy like best friend sort of thing. And then she's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, like there was a point when like I kind of had the hots for you, but like that's long gone now. So thank you for being my friend." And it's just like, yeah, I just got dumped, and to now know that like I chose the wrong one sucks extra for me, and I like that.
I love when Verso's unhappy.
Same. I was gonna say, so because I did neither of those, instead at the end of Monaco's, there's a bit where it's like, "Do you want to go cuddle?"
Yes.
Oh, that's there in another one too.
Yeah,
he just says normally, "Listen."
Yeah, he says that.
I love his love.
Like I love the picture that we get of real Verso through the shadow of our Verso, and little things like that. Like when you realize that, okay, this world was built by old Verso, and he filled it with weird little guys who just speak nonsense French. He's because you learn through all of the post game that like all of the bad things that happened are Claia's fault, specifically her. The big battle between Renoir and Aline is like the background of it, but all of the specific things that have been shitty for your party have all been Claia's fault. And so taking all of those out,
created the Nevrons. Is a big thing.
She made the Nevrons. Her dad made the Axons, but yeah, she made all the Nevrons. And the fact that fucking old Verso, he made I made a weird monkey guy who's kind of based on my dog, and he collects Nevron feet. He collects feet. That's his thing. Oh, and this is Esquier. He's the happiest, coolest. He's a giant wineskin who gives great hugs and loves people, and he'll be there for you if you're about to do a really bad thing you can never take back. Also, his powers come from rocks that he collects and he names.
Yeah, and like the amount of whimsy that is in the canvas, mixed with the fact that like he didn't even love painting, he loved making music, and the fact that he was a shit ass painter was the reason that everybody hated him. So it's like he made all these weird little guys because he wanted to make weird little guys. He wasn't like trying to paint and do awesome painter things. He's like, no, I want a weird little guy I can go hang out with, and so I'm going to make a weird little guy world, and it's wonderful.
Well, Esquier is a weird big guy.
True.
He's a weird big guy. We love him desperately.
Yes.
But that also means that Real Verso created Golgra, and I mean, everybody has to draw their own porn sometimes.
True.
So we have the social links. Miles is wild. Lune's is not very interesting, but I think thematically relevant. And Ciel's is heartbreaking.
Well, I think maybe we should go in order of like least amount of content. Also, there's Monaco's, which is there and is nice. It's kind of but I think we go from like least content to most content. So end with Mael, start with probably Ciel's?
Yeah. So Ciel, as we go through her social link, we learn about her and her husband. It turns out her husband died in an accident when he was like off in the ocean doing, I forget what, but something to help people have food or something. He died in an accident, and that really fucked up Ciel. She was ready for him to die in the Gamage. That's what she had prepared for, but then he died earlier in an accident, and she didn't know how to handle that. And she ended up swimming into the ocean, just swimming as far as she could, hoping to die. But then she woke up back in Lumiere and was taken to a hospital and finds out she was pregnant at the time that she wasn't aware of. And
Lost the baby.
yeah, it's fucked up.
It's really sad and really fucked
And
up.
it turns out she doesn't know how she ended up back on Lumiere because she had swum really far out. But Verso says that real Verso did paint someone who comes to people when they, in their darkest times, when they need someone most. And it turns out the reason Esquier greeted her as his terrible swimmer friend is because Esquier saw her when she was drowning and rescued her.
He's the best boy.
He's the best boy.
So many
Also,
emotions in this.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of how to. I'm trying to remember the exact order because if I recall, he actually brings up the whole like, oh, SK was made as this way, like he'd always be there for people when they really are in that kind of dark place. I thought he brings that up specifically in reference to himself. Like at some point, he was feeling that way, and that he was feeling there for him. But I might be misremembering because I played through a lot of this in a blur of the weekend.
Yeah, I probably should have actually gone ahead and taken notes on the social links, but I didn't. My notes were already real long, guys. Lune, her social link is she wants to know more about her parents who died in a previous expedition. And Versus like, oh, which expedition was that? And she says which one. And he's like, I didn't travel with them, but I have found traces of them. I think their expedition ended over in this spot. So we go to that spot. Lune has to play her guitar to open a door. And we go through a very small area. We fight a mini boss. And then we find a journal that just talks about how I think it's someone else talking about her parents and how her parents were like hoping Lune would continue their work and everything.
It's like, yeah, it's like, wow, Lune's mom really like basically sacrificed her life to protect everyone, and she's slowly dying of this venom. But like, she's just glad that her daughter's out there and can continue her work one day. And yeah, Lune's way of handling it is just like, wow, fucking great. My entire time being alive, they talked about me like I just existed to like be their backup. It's good to know that right before they died, they felt the same way. And I'm like, girl, that's so fucked.
Yeah, Lune really feels like her parents never viewed her as like an actual person with agency and stuff, and just, yeah, what Trish said.
Yeah, and the like ultimate end of the social link I love so much. So like when she finds the thing from her parents, she's like, oh, all of the times when I'm like, no, focus on the mission, we got to do the mission, I'm being a hard ass, like that was all from them, none of it was from me. And so in the very final one, when you get her thing, she's writing a song because her parents didn't like that she learned to play the guitar, but that was the thing that was truly her. And so she was like, I'm doing some things to meet myself and not just my parents' a lab assistant. And it was very good.
It's very good. There's also a point she has in there, I think, where she talks about like, because she says like, oh, this was just them, it's not me. And so it must be Verso, but I feel like it wasn't because I feel like this is too nice for something Verso to say. But it's basically just like, no, even if it comes from your parents, it is still you. Like they're gone. Anything you're doing is you. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
That's right. CW in chat says the voices in your head have to be your own, which is the line, which is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Lune's traits that she got from her parents that she was using to, be a hard ass and focus on the mission and all that. We needed that as we were going through the mission. That was important.
Yeah.
That helped us.
She's kind of like, it's the reason we're not dead.
Well, Mael is the reason we're not dead because she brought us back to life.
Yes, but Mael, they only got where they were because of Lune.
Mm-hmm.
Lune is so important to the expedition. And then there's Mael's social link, which is a lot more involved.
Do we want to go through, before we get to Mael's, go through the other two and go through SKA's and Minoko's?
Off the top of my head,
Yeah,
I
we should do
don't
this real
really
quick.
remember Minoko's and SKA's, but
I
okay, what happened?
do. So Minoko's is you
Oh,
talk to him and it's
right.
like, hey,
Yes.
do you want to bring Noko back? You want to bring your son back? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. And so you go to the river, the sacred river, where all the gestrels. I'm saying it correctly. Whenever I'm talking casually, I say gestrels, and it drives my wife insane. She's like, they say it in the game. I'm like, yeah, but I don't care. But you go there and then fucking Golgra shows up before you can revive him and it's like, no, there's a line, there's a queue. And Minoko's like, why though? Why is there a queue? It's like, because if we just revived everyone at once, there would be too many kids and not enough parents. and so we have to fight her to allow Noko to come back. And when we beat her, she makes up an excuse and runs away.
She does not fight with her full power.
No. And
No.
what I love is in the scene leading up to it, Verso is like, dude, don't do that. You're going to piss Golgra off. And Minoko's just like, please help me. And he's like, okay, fine. It's such a good Minoko, like, deadpan line. It's so good.
Minoko's deadpan lines are always so incredible. I love this furry bastard.
Minoko is so great.
SKA's one is about how he wants his last rock back. He had one last rock. I should say I didn't do any of the social links until really late. I was just going around the world map flying and fighting mini bosses and doing extra dungeons and shit. And then I was like, wow, I've been doing so much stuff and I don't have the ability to swim, and there's been all those swimming spots. Like, or the underwater thing, like, what's going on with that? And I look it up, it's like, you gotta do the social links. So I did all the other social links and then did SKA's real quick. And this was like at the end of a really long play session where it's like, I need to finish playing this game for today because I've played so much. And this kept powering me forward to further than I wanted to go. But yeah, so he left his last one, who I think his name is like Slurry or something, is the rock for underwater swimming, is being held by Francois, and so we have to go back. But they're like, but we don't have the. It's like, wait, maybe we don't have to fight him. Maybe we'll trade it and we'll carve. He's like, let's carve a rock that's of him and Clair, because apparently Clair made Francois and they were best friends. Which
That's
makes
why Francois
so much
is
sense,
mean.
and it's also adorable. It's so adorable. It's such a cute little rock they carved. And you go, and he does make you fight him, and it took me literally like one attack to beat him. I was so overwhelmed. But you beat Francois, and he gives it to you, and he takes it back, and he takes the thing, and it's just a cute little moment. And it's and then I think it's around the time where he was just like, as part of this, I don't remember the exact order, SK's like, hey, Verso, why didn't you give me my rock? Why'd you hang on to Sori all that time? And never give him back? And he's like, well, because if I gave him, I was afraid that everyone would just want to fly back to Lumiere, and we wouldn't continue the mission. And he's like, I don't think that was a good idea, Verso. That was pretty rude of you.
God, Verso!
There's a line where at some point in today's, like, what we covered for today, where he's like, Verso's like, SK, are you mad at me? And he's like, I'm sometimes sad and sometimes bad and occasionally rad, but never mad. It's just, how is SK the best goddamn character?
I love SKA.
Best airship. Favorite airship in any RPG.
Absolutely. No contest.
I had forgotten that Clair made Fran. I had forgot about that. But that makes me love real Verso even more than our Verso. Because, like, Clair made all the Nevrons, made all of this bad stuff. She was like, oh, your little rinky-dink silly guy canvas, well, I'm going to make a silly guy, and I make making fun of you, Verso, by making this weird little guy who's just mean all the time. But SKA, the soul of real Verso, thinks that Fran is his best friend. And that just is so good. And I love the, like, my mean sister is being mean to me, but I don't care. She's my big sister. She's my friend. We're friends.
Well, when they said like this is his childhood canvas, it makes me wonder like how much of this was stuff that literally him as a child did, like when he was very young. Like it would make so much sense and also just be really sweet and sad.
I love...
And then we get to my else.
Yes, wow. So I played my else a while ago, so feel free to jump in if I miss anything, but...
My else is a whole ass dungeon.
Yes! I don't remember why exactly they decide to go see the final Axon. I think it's just that Mael wants to talk to Alicia.
Yeah, no, the whole idea is that her route takes her to where she needs to talk to Alicia because she's kind of her but kind of not, and they need to make peace with each other. And Versa's like, yeah, well, she's here. She's going to be at the final Axon.
Yeah, because this Alicia, the one that we know with the white hair and gray skin, is the painted Alicia that Aline made. I was confused about that for a second. I was like, wait, who is she? What's going on? There's a lot of characters who have the same names as other characters.
When you think of her existing as like, this is what I think of my disabled daughter.
Yeah.
And you look at the girl who exists, it's like there's so much going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But yeah, we do a really crazy dungeon. It's a vertical dungeon.
This Axon's whole thing is that it's she keeps climbing up or she keeps building up towards the sky. Yes, the Reacher. And Mael talks about like, yeah, all the Axons that Dad made, they're all like these metaphor parable things that are trying to teach you a lesson. It's all he ever fucking does. Like, it's just his thing. And she says it like with such exasperation, and I don't, we should continue talking about this stuff, but I think we should round back on like looking back at all the Axons and who they're supposed to represent and like what lessons he was trying to teach them, because I think it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Verso is Visage, and I guess
yes,
Clea is Siren.
No, Siren is Aline? It's the mom.
Yes, Aline.
That's Aline. Yeah. She is performing and creating music and art for an audience that does not matter, and has trapped herself in doing so.
Yes. And Verso is, what is it Minoko says? He who guards truth with lies?
Yeah, somewhat. His whole thing is, that whole one is like covering up your emotions. It seems like both feeling very strongly, but also constantly putting on a mask to hide how you're actually feeling. God... Renoir's such a fucking, like, the worst kind of artist.
And also, when Mael is talking about this whole metaphor he's constructed for her with the Reacher, she's like, oh yeah, and I have vertigo, so this is going to be fun. And I'm like, you've been flying on Esquier. Yeah. Okay, so...
Listen, she's sitting in the middle of his stomach and not looking over the side, just tuning it out.
Splayed out, grabbing on as hard as she can. I guess when we saw her in that one cutscene flying, that was before she'd regained her memories, so maybe she didn't have vertigo until she regained her memories. That was a thing from Real World Alicia, and Mael didn't have it until then. We can explain it that way, how she was totally chill in that one cutscene we saw. But anyway, yeah, so we get to the top of the Reacher. We meet Alicia, and someone who's played it more recently than me. Take it from here, I guess.
Okay, so Mael does that black and white stop-timey thing?
Yes.
Or I think, no, Alicia
does it at
Alicia's
first,
the one who does
yeah.
it. Alicia does it, and Mael's the one who turns it off afterwards.
Yes.
But yeah, they freeze time. And Mael talks to her about what she's gone through and the kind of burden she's borne, and specifically that she's been basically used as a chess piece by all these other people. Everyone is, assuming what she wants or telling her what she should be doing, and her own agency has been very much negated. And then the Axon lowers its head, and they go into its mouth, and then you fight her.
Yeah, you have a duel.
After you have a duel, and after the duel, she asks her, what do you really want? And the answer is, after time stops, she erases Alicia, because Alicia just didn't want to be anymore. And Verso is extremely pissed off about that.
Yeah.
And is basically in the back at camp scene afterwards, like, what the fuck? You should have just done that without talking to me. You should have told me, and I could have tried to argue her, like, we could have talked to her first. And Mael's whole point is, people have been deciding things for her for so long. This is what she wanted. And if you had talked to her, you probably would have talked her out of it. And that's not what she wanted. And it's a really fucking good scene.
So after they're talking about this, they're arguing, things cool down a bit. I forget if there's something specifically that brings up the topic, but Mael is like, hey, you wouldn't lie to me, right? We're past lying to each other, right? Could you have saved Gustav? Was it?
Oh God, yes.
Was it just a crazy Deus Ex Machina thing that you arrived just in time to save me, but not in time to save Gustav? She doesn't use the phrase Deus Ex Machina, but that's what she's asking. And then you get a dialogue option. Yes, I could have saved Gustav. Truth. Or no, I couldn't have. Lie.
I told the truth.
And I scream because Verso is the worst.
Seriously? Finding that out, I was like, wow. Holy shit, wow.
I'm trying to remember why he says he didn't save Gustav. It was some bullshit about, like, if Gustav had been there, I don't know if he would have helped me fucking kill everyone. It was, but
yeah,
man,
it's a bad reason.
God, I freaked out at that part when we learned that Verso could have saved Gustav and didn't. And Mael, I guess things are really big right now. Mael's dealing with a lot of stuff. But she takes this surprisingly well. And this is actually the only way to get her rank up all the way. You don't get the final rank if you lie.
Oh, interesting.
It says something about, like, they have a bond forged in truth or something.
I was thinking, like, maybe part of the reason why she kind of accepts it is the way she does is also, with the idea of everything, how everyone else is looking at things. Hopefully, once this is over, she can repaint him.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he's not actually gone for good. But it's just like, Verso, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
he's truly a
then
trash.
her level 3 gradient attack is a gomage.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It fucking rules.
It's so good.
It will instantly kill an enemy if they're weak enough, and if they're not weak enough, it will just do a shit ton of damage.
So setting aside the social links, there's so much stuff to do. There's just a bunch of bonus bosses all over the overworld you can go fight if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them give incredible rewards that you want badly. And there's several bonus dungeons. I brought up in previous episodes, there's a thing called the Painter's Workshop earlier in the game you can get to. And the whole idea is you have to find 3 different entrances to it in different parts of the overworld. Each one gives you, like, a key item. You have to do platforming. And with those all done, you get to fight a much harder version of the Lampmaster. The whole, like, which order he lights the lanterns in is important thing. I hate it. I hate that mechanic.
Oh, I didn't have to engage with it because I was already in the deal multiple millions of damage by the time that I got around.
See,
I wasn't
quite there yet. I got there. I went to this guy almost immediately. He was one of the first things I did in the post game or in this end game content section.
When I got to the thing where you need to do multiple millions of damage in one hit, I was like, I'm gonna go do everything else and then come back to this.
No, I rammed my head against a wall repeatedly. Speaking of the painters, there's a different painting-related workshop-y thing, but it's not the Painter's Workshop. I can't remember what it's called. I think it has painter in the name.
The Canvas?
Okay, the Canvas, yes. The Canvas, which is a whole mini-dungeon. That's a real mini-dungeon where you have to refight 4 previous bosses, but much harder, chromatic versions of them. And they each have, like, their own special area dedicated to the level. It's really well laid out. This game's so gorgeous. I love the way they do these dungeons and environments. And then once you do them all, you get access to see Clea, the painted version. And you learn Clea is such a good painter that of the family at least, she's the only one who is able to paint over someone else's creation. So this was originally...
Oh, you're talking about Flying Manor. This wasn't...
Oh,
this
I meant
isn't
Flying
Canvas.
Manor. I meant Flying Manor. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So the Elise made a Clea to be part of her in Canvas family, and then Clea didn't like it and painted over her, and she's been the one like rotely making Nevrons on Clea's behalf, I guess. And you gotta boss fight her to basically, they're like, we should just put her out of her misery at this point because she's like, it feels like effectively like magically what's been done is almost like a what's it called, like she's had a lobotomy. She's been lobotomized. And it's a cool boss fight. They haven't had a lot of boss fights at this point, I feel like, with like the boss regaining health mechanics. Those have been pretty rare, and her entire thing is if you don't perfectly parry every hit in her attacks, and her attacks have tons of hits, if you don't parry all of them, she gains 500,000 health back. So you gotta kill her really quickly and parry well, or otherwise she's just gonna keep regaining any ground you've made, which I think is a really fun boss mechanic, and I liked it. I'm sure you didn't have to engage with it because you just killed her with 200 billion damage, but
yeah.
but it's a really cool, and she has like 2 phases. It's a really cool fight.
Yeah, I don't remember the order of in-game content that I did, but I got into the like stupid level of damage before I had to go and use that damage on anything. So by the time I went back, everything was easy except for Simon.
Speaking of Simon,
God, he's really hard. But then you beat him and you're like, oh wow, that was so hard, but I beat him. I feel so good now.
And then it's not. So who is Simon? Simon is a friend of Verso who's part of Expedition Zero and was like their best swordsman or something. He's the one who all the golden swords in Old Lumiere, that was him.
Yeah.
And he's Clea painted over him too and made him into her special little foot soldier. And he's a nightmare. He hits, all of his hits are like at minimum like 5 hit combos. And they almost all are one-shot kills. If any of the hits hit, it's a one-hit kill.
Yeah, he was one-hit killing my defense built Monoko, who, like most other things, it'll do like 3,000 damage to Mael and 15 damage to Monoko. And it was one-hit killing him as well.
So you might think, I'll just set up shields.
Ha! Yeah, because Real Win just brought that up in the chat. Good idea doing that. If you have shields at the start of your turn, he steals them.
Yep.
Also, if he starts his turn and any of your party members are knocked out, if they're at 0 HP, he removes them from the fight permanently.
Yep.
Yep.
And also he has a thing that just takes everyone down to takes one person down to 1 HP.
Yeah. And it's not a move. It's just his end of turn effect. He does a move that kills you, and then yes. So Swords is not permanently until the phase change. Yes, the phase change undoes all of those. Anyone who was dead before or permanently out of the fight before comes back with 1 HP. But like, that's still a hard boss fight. Phase 1 is its own unique hard boss fight, and taking someone out of that fight itself is already a huge handicap. And then there's phase 2. Where he goes full Sephiroth on us.
All his attacks are now doubled.
Yes, because he has a glowing afterimage of his sword that hits separately.
The Sword of Lumiere.
Well, I know it's insane because I know that none of us got to this point because we all tried it one time and were like, how to beat Simon Clair Obscur.
Are you talking about phase 3? I got to phase 3. Fuck you.
Oh, I didn't come close to getting to phase 3. I'm not even a little close. Anyways, but yeah, phase 3, all of his hits do 3 attacks.
Also, more importantly than that, he just flat
insane.
removes the active party from the canvas, and you have to use the backup party now.
Yeah, that's specifically, it's if he because phase 3 is not a separate boss fight the way phase 1s and 2 are completely separate boss fights. Phase 3 is just if you get him to, like, I think it's 30% health in phase 2, he auto takes out your entire group. You have to use your reserve party. If you're already on your reserve party, that's the end of the fight. And yeah, and his attacks get even harder because They truly wanted to make the most broken boss they possibly could.
Yeah, so the way you beat Simon is you have to just fuck with the mechanics so much, set up your Pictos in such a wild way that you can just kill him in one hit, because you're not going to survive otherwise.
Or you get good and you parry everything.
I mean, that's technically an option.
Yeah, I hope that at the next
they do
GQ, that they have Clair Obscur, and they have as an incentive if somebody does a non one hit kill version of the Simon fight.
Yes,
because I want to watch someone do it and get hype and all of that, but I don't ever want to do it myself. It was a bad time every time I tried.
So yeah, I ended up I looked up a guide to figure out the direction I needed to go, and I didn't follow the guide exactly, but I did end up doing 115 million damage to Simon in one hit, and that's nothing compared to what Sam did. Sam did like over 200 million in one hit.
Yeah, so here's the basic idea that I had. So I had CL with the move that makes someone do double damage,
yes,
and the move that makes someone take their turn immediately.
Yes.
And also with the Picto that kills her at the start, and the Picto that revives her, and then every single on death and on revive Picto in the entire fucking game on her. So
yes,
when the fight starts, Simon is broken, everybody is buffed. So then Mael, she would do defenseless on Simon, and then do her move that takes her down to 1 HP. Crucially, you can't start her at 1 HP because it happens when you move into 1 HP. All of the Pictos that go off when you're in critical health. So now she has everything from all of her critical health stuff. So then Minoko breaks Simon and gives one more buff to Mael for good measure, and then on CL's actual turn, she does the double damage and then tells Mael to go next. And I also had roulette on as one of the things, so I did basically what Bernard did. I just happened to get the proc where I do a plus 200% damage, and so I have real big number, and it was awesome.
Another important part is you can do a bunch of things to toss a whole bunch of shields on Mael right at the beginning of the fight. If the fight were going to continue, that would not be helpful at all, but since it's only going to last one round, it's fine. But if you dump all those shields on Mael, there's also a Picto that increases her damage for each shield she has.
Yes. This fight's insane.
But yeah, you just gotta buff Mael insane. And
also, I hadn't been using, as we talked about the parts of the podcast, I haven't been using Verso a ton, but for the Cleo fight and then this fight, you kind of you have to use everybody if you're gonna do it legit. You have to use everybody. And so I've gotten used to using people I wasn't using as much, and I actually built a really good Verso build. I was surprised at how fun it is. Just doing the shit that you've both talked about doing with giving him all that stuff with his basic attack, including if you give him element or energy mastered where you get an extra AP anytime you would get an AP, he gets 3. If he gets multiple attacks per turn, every attack gives him 1 AP. Then he gets 0 to 9 AP on a basic attack. It's stupid.
And yeah, when I found a total of 3 combo attack Pictos, each one adding an attack to a basic attack, so now I get 4 attacks and an attack, I screamed.
Oh, also, there's a Monako weapon I got, started using later in the game, that I've really grown to love. It is one where it doesn't set the beast wheel at a specific thing to start, it's random. But its thing is that every single time you use the same, like you're using the skill that matches where it is in the beast wheel, then you get a buff in damage, and that buff keeps increasing the more times you do it consecutively. And as long as you don't break your streak, it just keeps going up. And that's nonsense. And if you basic attack, it randomly puts the wheel somewhere else. And I really like that. I really like the other one that's all about using the Almighty Mask. It has, like, if you're in the Almighty Mask, you res the first time you die in a fight and stuff like that. That one's fun, but the number go up. I like number go up.
There are lots of numbers to go up in this game.
Fucking Simon. I look forward to seeing what happens when you beat him, because I haven't done that yet. I played so much of this game.
As a side effect of my Simon build for CL, or CL build for Simon, whatever, she starts the battle by dying, and she also has an on death deal a shitload of damage to the enemy. And because the battle start order of operations, her dying happens before the enemies with shields put on their shields, every single fight just instantly ends. Because CL just kills everyone the moment it starts, because they can't even protect against it because their shields don't work yet. It's stupid, and it's made going around to like find the journals that I haven't found and find the lost gestrels that I haven't found and stuff like that so easy, because it's like, oh crap, I got ambushed by a chevalier and he's dead. Cool. Keep going. Keep doing what I was doing.
Another fun thing, you know how all through this game we found mimes, and the mime will have a fun haircut, and you kill the mime and you get the haircut. You can find this creepy place where you can do one-on-one duels against a bald mime, and whenever you killed a bald mime, that character can now be bald.
And so I have my Verso with a bald head and a tuxedo, and he looks like Yasu from Nana, and it's awesome. I have not changed him out of that ever since I got him bald.
So there is... Oh god, I just remembered several fun alternate places because you've said that. One, least fun, I've only done 5 rounds of it, and holy goddamn shit. There is a fucking, like, Pit of 100 Trials. There is a, the Endless Tower of just where Clay's like, oh, do you want to fight forever? I made a bunch of fights where you can fight forever if you want, I guess.
There is an end to it.
It's a pit of 33 trials.
It's 33 trials. It's 11, you're right, sorry, it's 33 fights, because it's 11 rounds, 3 fights each. You're right, 33 fights total.
And the final one is against the curator and the paintress at the same time, and they share a health bar, but they don't share turns. So if you break them and they take turns back to back, they get unbroken on the curator's turn. So then the paintress can just do her fuck you damage, and there's no way you can't stun her. It's very good.
Yeah. There's also another Gestrel arena that is, they tied balloons to it and it flew up into the sky a long time ago, and they've just been like chilling, and they're like, oh god, do you want to fight? We want to fight so bad. And so you can go and fight them, and there's some fun fights there. But then after you do it a couple times, Goldgrace shows up and she's like, what the fuck are you people doing? And then you get to fight Goldgrace to save them. It's so good. There's also a Gestrel casino. And there's only 2 Gestrels who live there. One who has been annoyed that he's been stuck here with no one to fight. And one of the rare Gestrels who doesn't care about fighting and just likes casinos, who is holed up in his casino. But if you talk to him, you can get Minoko a tux. And Minoko is never taking that tux off. He looks incredible in it.
So good. Yeah, I love the casino, because on the world map it's like bright and neon. They have a neon fucking whale that just is flying around it. It is so inviting, and you get in there and there's nothing to do except get a tux. It's very good.
Okay,
yes.
Speaking of flying around, in that same area is that fucking dragon, who I know probably wasn't a big deal to at least you, Sam, because you could just one-shot this bitch. You need to know what this dragon can do, because it's really annoying.
That dragon is scary.
That dragon's scary. The dragon's gimmick is almost every turn it takes, it steals all of your AP. So you can't hoard AP at all. It is use it or lose it. Also, if he's not doing that, the other thing he does is he gives himself like 9 shields and increases his speed higher, which is just a real fuck you move. Really fun fight, but if you're not cheesing it, it's really hard. This game is so fucking good.
It's so good.
I love this game so much. I can't believe this entire game I've never had a I know more than you moment with the devs.
Mm-hmm. Like, I was doing that whole the theories with all those things I was talking about with like possible like reincarnation cycles. It's like that turned out to be completely not what it was. But also I was like, sort of in the right vibe, but also it's very different in a way I love. I love that they're all just painted figures. I love that specifically the members of the Descendre family that we got to know for most of this game are just the mom's imagined versions of them. Especially when Miles like, don't worry, the real Renoir is so much nicer than Maman really created an unflattering version. It's like, I don't know. I think the one she made is nicer than the real one.
Yeah. The one she made is a loving, doting husband. All he wants is to
ruin his wife's life,
to protect the Patriots. But the real one wants to ruin his wife's life. But the fake one just wants to protect the Patriots.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that, you know, at this point, Painted Renoir, I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm kind of on his side. I don't like that he killed Gustave, but like I see where he was coming from.
It's like all these expeditions.
He was trying to prevent everything from getting erased.
These expeditions were the expedition to kill your wife.
Yeah,
to kill your wife and end everyone's existence.
Yeah, this game is cool.
We forgot about the most important part of Mael's social link. So at the very end, when you tell her the truth, it's like awkward for a second, and then to break it, she's like, she looks over at the monolith and is like, the monolith being empty feels weird. Like for the last 15 years, I've always seen something written on the monolith. And Versa was like, well, why don't you write something on it? And she goes, I'll write, Papa. No, Papa, you go home. And then she writes it in French, whatever that would be in French.
Papa va-t-en.
So she writes it, and it's that. And you see it on the overworld. You see it in camp. Like, she writes it on the monolith, and it's there for the rest of the game, and it's very good.
Va-t-en, I believe, like, translates just sort of like to go away. I love it. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. It's great.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I've already beaten this game. I completed it because I wanted to get a full picture before writing my notes for the crazy shit that happens this week, and I do think that helped, but it didn't help me stay sane because I haven't had anyone to talk to about the ending, and y'all, the ending is wild.
I'm so excited for the ending.
I am going to purposefully play it next Tuesday.
So
that I can have the least amount of time between playing it and recording. If we didn't record literally the moment I stopped working on Wednesdays, I would play it on Wednesday before we recorded.
I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, my schedule's so packed nowadays. Tuesday, as soon as I get home from work, Tuesdays are the time I have a date with my New Jersey girlfriend. And we watch Buffy and shit. But I'm probably gonna play it this weekend, and my thoughts won't be super fresh, but I'll probably still be in an aftershock from them when the time comes.
I've been talking about this game a lot with Maddie Grace, but Maddie Grace played up to and did literally everything except go back to Lumiere and kick Renoir's ass. So I wasn't able to talk to her about the ending. That night, my brain was just buzzing so much, I had to write a short essay about the ending just to make my brain stop buzzing.
That's the best shit. That is the best shit.
So, I was talking with Maddie about it last night, and she was like, yeah, you kept saying how, this game is Lost Odyssey, this game is Legend of Dragoon, and the whole time she was thinking, just wait till Sam realizes it's also Star Ocean 3, which... Spoiler alert for Star Ocean 3, one of the most infamous plot twists in JRPG history. You find out that every Star Ocean game takes place inside the Matrix, and instead of you being from the Matrix and being like, no, it's important, I'm going to save it, you side with Renoir and reset the fucking Matrix at the end of Star Ocean 3. It's stupid, and I hate it, and I've been mad at it since the game came out. And so this is reparations for Star Ocean 3, is what Clair Obscur is.
I like how... That made me think about how I like how Lune and Ciel, we don't even have a thing of them being like, well, if I'm not real, what does that mean? Because of course they're real. They have their lives. They have their emotions. They've loved and lost. Of course they're real. They're not fake in any meaningful way just because they can't leave the canvas.
It's also really different for them compared to, like, Verso, where Verso was specifically created by someone to replace someone who they knew and died. They're like, I mean, they're you know, they're made of paint, but otherwise their lives are just their lives. Like,
yeah,
they've learned something about the world, but who they are is not changed nearly as much.
They're French. They understand existentialism.
Exactly. Also, we alluded to this in the recap. I just want to say, I understand the benefits of still having Verso be quote unquote the main character of this act. I think that's still the wrong choice, though. I think having Mael be the one we walk around in camp and do things with would make the whole act work a lot better, especially what it is in the game, Mael's quote-unquote social link. I think that could just as easily be, if Mael was the person we're playing as in camp, Verso's social link. It would work just as well, if not better, because in that we have agency. Like, this is about what Mael chooses and does, and what she believes. And having it be from Verso's POV when he is being affected by it indirectly like that, but it's about his emotions, I feel like it would work flipped around much better. It didn't feel like I was playing as Verso doing this thing for Mael. I felt like I was Mael doing this thing for herself and kind of for Verso. And also, you know, misogyny.
Oh, this game's so good.
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
I can't believe that I was like, I was honestly thinking, this game isn't going to live up to the hype. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
All these people saying it's the best fucking thing, they probably just haven't actually played really great JRPGs.
I think back frequently to how much Trish has lost her entire bonkers on this game. Has a Pepe Sylvia wall of all of the things that this game makes her feel. And in episode 1, she said that she wasn't going to enjoy this game because it was just a AAA action game.
Listen, okay, that is wildly mischaracterizing what I said. I had difficulties adjusting to it, and those difficulties were still there. And, like, I am deeply in love with this game, but it took a while for me to get in love with this game. The first act or so, or act and a half, was a little rough for me. And it partially is just due to issues I have with this style of presentation and this style of how to do a game. But also, it's just, I think the opening of the game is more cerebral than it is emotionally gripping up to a point. And it takes a while for it to get its hooks in me to where I start feeling for these people and these characters as hard as I end up doing. God, just, sorry, I say that now I'm just thinking about CL. It's so funny because CL has, like, again, I kind of think she got robbed a little bit in a lot of ways. Like, Lune's kind of the leader in a weird way, but, you know, still doesn't have a ton of stuff plot happening. Monoko's Monoko. CL just, she has no dungeon associated with her quest. She has no special area to go to. It's just some conversations you do in a scene. And they're good scenes, and they're great conversations. But, like, in general, she feels like the party member who's like, and you're here. Which sucks, because I really end up liking her. And I honestly feel like I wish I had more examples of this, and I probably do if I think about it longer. But the thing immediately comes to mind is Aqualad from Young Justice. The kind of character where it's like, a lot of people would say this is the boring character of the party, or this is the character with just the least going on. But it's because the depth is more something you have to really look at, and not something that jumps out at you as much.
Game good.
Game good!
But I think that's all that we can say about it so far. And we should wrap this up. So that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us offset the cost of running the show. If you decide to donate $1 or more a month, you'll become one of our gadabouts and also get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia, The Escape Pod, and the JRPG Canon. And you also get to vote on whatever game we're playing next. Right now, we have a vote open between Radiata Stories, Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age, Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Dragon Quest IV Chapters of the Chosen. And right now, it is a 4-way tie. Every single option has the same amount of votes. So one person could go in and be a swing vote and decide what we play. So head on over to the Ko-Fi and let your voice be heard. And either do something really chill and pick one of these cool games, or do something really silly and make us play 2 large games back to back. If you want to update your donation to $5 or more each month, you can become one of our warriors and get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragonslayer19, Freddie Rodriguez, AARon524, and JFro Prime. And then if you really, really love us and you want to be one of our luminaries, you can donate $20 or more a month and get a short 1-sentence shout-out or advert right at the end of each episode, kind of like this. Shoutouts to Kildranis, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It is a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie hype and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. And then shoutouts to Vimk, who says, "You talk so loudly for chattel, Nav," said the Marshal. And then shouts to It's Clear Time, who says, "For you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat." For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.